jumping
Mhm.
into this NBA. Rob, I see the topic that you put up here.
Mhm.
Is Jonathan Kuminga the Warriors? Oops, baby. Is he really? Is that how you think about that, man?
So yeah, like for people that of a certain age, sometimes you get the kids, they're out of the house,
Hmm.
you got everything to where you and say your lady, let your man, y'all about to be empty nesters, and then y'all still getting it on, y'all still getting it in, technology is a wonderful thing, and all of a sudden, you know, your lady is now feeling, a little hot. Now it's like, everything's kind of changing, and it's like, what, they go to the doctor and all of a sudden it's like, you guys are having a baby. And you're like,
Surprise,
yay.
surprise.
But it's like, you're like, no. Because it's like, hey, we've already done. The kids already got out the house. They going to do their own thing. You're like, man, everything is cool. Everything is chilling. Now we're about to be on the back end. And here's starting over once again. And so when I think about Jonathan Kaminga, and when I think about the Warriors at this time, when the time that they drafted Jonathan Kuminga. Think about it.
Mhm.
They had just come off being the eighth seed. They had
Yep.
drafted Jonathan Wiseman the year before, a
Yep.
year basically where they had the number two pick because they were so damn bad. Granted, it was a COVID year; they didn't make it in the bubble and all that kind of good shit.
Yep.
But it's like they were so damn bad. But yeah, it's like this seemed like, all right, you're drafting this guy number four, Jonathan Kaminga. He's going to basically anchor your team. You're going to basically find a way to offload Steph sooner or later. You're going to find a
Hmm.
way
Hmm.
to offload Draymond sooner or later, and basically end the dynasty unto itself. But then you make a finals run. Then now everything is basically like, oh shit, we got to make sure Steph is great. We got to make sure Draymond's great. We got to make sure all this stuff is kept stable because now we have a viable title contender. Not even title contender, we have a viable title champion. And
Mhm.
now it's like, where is Jonathan Kuminga going to go? Because Jonathan Kuminga has to go from being the future to being a piece. And it's hard for a guy that basically seemingly was going to have the keys kind of handed to him as, hey, we're going to develop this thing seemingly around you as, the number four pick.
Hmm.
Because you don't really have somebody like that just be a side piece.
This is
And
true.
you generally don't have teams that basically win a championship after drafting number four, unless that guy is a big piece of that. But he wasn't in that title run. He was just a guy. And so I think that the part of the development, because I've been asking the question for years at this point. I probably annoyed y'all about how many times I asked the question. What is Jonathan Kaminga? And I think part of the reason why that happened is because he was their oops baby. They weren't really able to develop him because they weren't really planning to basically have their lives be much better than what it was. They were basically like, all right, you are on the downturn. Here's this kid coming around, and now we got to both develop him and the Jordan Pools of the world and everything like that. We got to develop him while also basically making sure that our mainstays are still great. And I think that's almost impossible to do. You can't basically build for the future and stay in the present at the same time. And so I think when it comes to Jonathan Kaminga, he was somebody that wasn't. He was more of a oops than somebody that basically was like the plan.
Mm. I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. So my only thing about that is them motherfuckers getting old, Rob. They ass is getting old. They have
Mm-hmm.
to. I'll say this: it was unfortunate that you had to get rid of Jordan Poole because Jordan Poole had a lot of upside to him to me. He really
Yeah.
did. But unfortunately, somebody can't keep their hands to themselves inside the Warriors organization. He's also been labeled a fake tough guy. You at times. I'm just saying what I heard through the grapevine. I'm just saying what I
Yeah.
heard
Mhm.
through the grapevine.
Yeah.
But I think at some point these dudes are old, bro. Somebody else is going to have to step up.
Right.
Like who else do you have? Steph is old.
Mhm.
Steph is like 37 right now. Like 36, 37 years old though. Draymond got salt and pepper beard on the floor.
Man,
Okay.
he looks. ancient and getting ancienter by the second.
He literally has Salt and Pepper Beard on the floor. He's arguing with Steve Kerr at times. Okay, he's being old and contrary. Let's
Mhm.
just be real. I don't know what you think, Biscuit. Do you think that how can that work?
I kind of think I get the oops baby, but I kind of think he's getting more of the Jan Brady middle child
Mhm.
slash redheaded stepchild treatment. Like, oh, you're there. We're not paying attention. We know you're there. You know, because I don't think he really needs a lot of development. I think it's more of feeling wanted, feeling useful, putting him in a place to where giving him the opportunity to show what he can do.
Right.
Because when you see him play, when they let him loose and actually give him the chance, he show out. I just feel like they're not giving him that chance. They're not making him feel important. So that's why we don't really see what Jonathan Kuminga could really do, because they don't make him feel like he's a piece. They make him feel like he's just an afterthought.
One of
So
the
if you put
dudes.
him in a place, if you put him in a place to where he can be the man, then we can see. Because I don't really think development is the issue. I think it's more of feeling wanted.
So
Yep.
here's the thing: how long are we gonna let him go undeveloped? Because the longer that Steph and them hold on, the longer he goes undeveloped.
I think he just has to honestly just wait out the contract and go to free agency.
That's the best bet at this point. I don't think that they don't want him, and I think, and I part of the I think they feel like they fucked up. I think if you ask the Warriors, like, hey, when it
Mhm.
comes to Jonathan Kuminga and everything that you guys have done for him since you guys drafted him, do you think that you've done the best by him? I think they would answer no, because I
Mhm.
think that when it comes to a player like him, they basically were like, you're young, but you got to fit in, and where your fit in is, we don't know. Because when the Warriors were really on their runs, like when they brought in, like, say, the Sean Livingstons, the Leandro
Yeah,
Barbosas, guys that were somebody or at least drafted as somebody at one time before, but now it's like, okay, I got to fit this role, like a JaVale McGee, for example.
yeah,
Like, I gotta just fill in this role. Like
Mhm.
they prospered because it's like Steph is gonna be Steph, and Steph is just so monumentally great, and he's just gonna figure it out. Clay also monumentally great. Draymond great for what he does and all that. Everybody else just gotta kind of fit in. But when you're like, hey, I was brought in to be somebody. I was brought in to be a guy, the guy. It's kind of
Mhm.
hard to basically like, I got to both fill a role and learn what role I got to fill, but also know that like my time is the time that got to come. And I think that they didn't really think about that, and they never really figured out how to basically make that, because it is impossible. It is hard.